good evening, people. Welcome to the Keeping It Real Conversation Show with your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. This is the first show of the new year for me. So we are definitely excited about that. It is January 11th, 2024, one day before my birthday. So I'm super excited about that. Of course, we are in the land of the living. We give all praise to God for that. It could have been another way, but He chose to have us here tonight. Again, we are live on Facebook. We are live on the YouTube channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. We are live on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram for the first time. So again, welcome everybody. This is going to be a powerhouse. I'm so excited. If you don't know, you're going to find out tonight. I promise you're going to find out tonight. Tonight we have special guest, none other than this man right here, Kris Brooks. Oh my God. What more can I say? So we're going to get into his bio real quick, and then we're going to have our conversation. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
I hope it's all right, because if it ain't too bad. All right. Accomplished musician from the D. As we say, we're not talking about Dallas. We're talking about the city of Detroit, in this wonderful state of Michigan. He's been playing drums for 33 years. Some of us ain't even got that job that long. How about that? Anywho, he's been playing professionally for 23 years. He started his musical journey in the church and later expanded his gifts by traveling and playing for some of the biggest names in the gospel world as well as the secular world. Kris has taken things even further, stepping into the role of producer, releasing music under the umbrella of Brooks Forth Music. Kris loves God and has committed himself to constantly spreading the love of God through his musical gifts. Tonight, I want you to welcome Mr. Not Only Amazing Gift, Kris Brooks. How you doing, sir?
What's up, ma'am? How are you?
I can't complain. I can't call it.
Hey, listen. I'm just glad to be alive.
Absolutely.
In this world we live in today, it's just good to be able to wake up in the morning.
Absolutely. So usually I explain to the people how we met. Officially, I've never met you. I've been in places where you have been, but I have never officially met you. My last actual run-in with you was at the McDonald's Gospel explosion with the Walls group, and I said, "Hey, aren't you Kris Brooks?" And you was like, "Yes, ma'am, that's me." I said, "You are an awesome gift," and you walked out. But again, I didn't have pink hair then, so I probably was wearing my natural hair. Probably was blue.
That's funny.
But yeah, I have been in places. Of course, most of the time I've been in churches where you were on the drums, and definitely a gift, not only to the body of Christ, but to the world. You have a unique sound in itself. And this is why you have been playing for 33 years. So let's get into the beginning of Mr. Kris Brooks. You can't go in the city of Detroit, especially if you're in the music world, and don't know who Kris Brooks is. You can't hide. Your name goes into rooms that you're not even aware of.
Yeah, wow, that's kind of crazy.
But again, tonight I'm super excited to have a legend in the building.
Wow.
Yes, legend.
Yeah.
Where I have seen you back up Rudolph Stanfield and Tony Lucas and all these wonderful big names. I mean, Michael Fletcher. I mean, whoever. And
guys, they some legends for real.
Absolutely. And to be able to be called upon is No small thing. So where does the beginning of Kris Brooks start?
Wow. So, the beginning of Kris Brooks actually started at my home church, which is Pentecostal Temple Church of God in Christ, in a small little town called Inkster, Michigan, uh,
Mm-hmm.
which is a suburb of Detroit. Um, and at the time, my grandfather was pastoring the late Bishop Isaac King Jr., who is definitely a legend in his own right, not only in the city of Inkster, but in the Church of God in Christ as a whole, and even extending past that. So I started off there playing drums for the kids choir, which was called the Sweethearts Choir, and they were um, a kids choir from our church, which was probably over 30 children in
Mm-hmm.
that choir, and there was an older lady by the name of Miss Barbara Gilreath, the Mother Barbara Gilreath, and there was another lady by the name of Mother Lula Clark, who have been members of the church for over 50 years. And Mother Lula Clark, was the director of the choir, and Mother Barbara Gilreath was the musician for the choir. She was the organist. And so, little old me, I was playing drums. And then I actually, over time, over the years, bypassed playing for the actual youth choir of the church. And I started playing for our adult choir, which was our mass choir, coming together of all the choirs together. And since then, I had branched out and had the opportunity to play at different churches, to get the idea of what it is to be paid for utilizing my service. And it took me a long time to break out into that, because I was so dedicated to my church. I was loyal to my church. And of course, at the time, for well over 10 years plus, I wasn't getting paid from my home church. I had never asked my home church for a dime, but it really wasn't until my grandfather had set me down and had a conversation with me, and that's when I started branching out to play for other various ministries throughout the city of Detroit, Metro Detroit area, and had an opportunity to experience what it is to be uh, paid, to use my gift, which is playing drums.
So at what age did you know, or you had an interest in actually playing the drums?
I watched my oldest brother, Kenneth Brooks, who's also a legendary drummer, musician, barber, master groomer in the city of Detroit and beyond. I watched him growing up, of course, and then watching a couple of other drummers from our church, and so that really gave me the interest. And of course, I didn't know what I was doing when I first started, but I just knew that I had a love for it and that it was something that I really wanted to do. So I
So
was maybe about three or
outside of
four.
church, in school, did you play the drums?
Yes, actually, my school was my church, and as crazy as that sounds, that's literally what it was. Um, we first, my grandfather, as an administrator, um, and a staff of people, they started a school called ICA, which is Inkster Christian Academy. And a lot of the members of the church, their children went to that school, and it was from preschool all the way up to 12th grade. And so, of course, I didn't start going to the school until we actually moved into a school building, in the city of Inkster. And so we had what we would call, it was a Christian school. So we had what we call chapel every Friday. And we actually had it Monday through Friday, but Friday was the day that we would actually go in, and uh, any of the students that had any gifts or talents were able to showcase those gifts and talents that they had, whether it was reading poems or singing, um, music, anything. And so I would definitely say that I definitely had that opportunity in school to play, but I never actually went to school for the purpose of learning how to play
Playing.
music.
Okay. So would you say, I know for experience of not being afraid of crowds, my first opportunity, of course, was in church.
Hmm.
When we had to recite Easter plays and stand up in a youth choir. So those days were easy compared to when we actually went to school and had to stand up in front of someone to recite, to read, do any of those things. Do you feel that if you can conquer a church crowd, you can conquer anywhere?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because believe it or not, and I'll say this, and I can stand 10 toes down on this. The church has some of the worst critics, some of the worst critics. And here's the thing: there's some of them that mean well, but they
Yes,
just have a very rash way of, saying it. They, and it's not even to hurt your feelings, but quite naturally, when you're not used to critiques at all, you got somebody coming up to you, hey man, you sound good, but you need to practice. You know what I'm saying? Like that'll hurt your feelings a little bit. You know?
absolutely. Also, it all depends. Hey, cuz it all depends on who's saying it. Like,
Yeah,
I never thought of, the idea of acting or anything like that in church, even though our church did put on plays and things of that nature. But singing, when you come from a singing family, you better know how to sing. You better know how to hold a note. You better
yeah,
be able to do something because you're not about to embarrass this family name, nor are you going to say you're my child and you cannot. Um,
exactly.
so those moments of getting in front of a church where, and the church I went to, a lot of my family members went there. So it was like, yeah, we got to represent or don't get up at all.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it's crazy that you said that, because at one point in time when I really really got into playing for my church, uh, me and my three older brothers, we were the musicians. Well, actually, my third oldest brother, which is the pastor of the church now, where we all grew up, he was playing the organ with the keyboard, and my oldest brother and myself were playing the drums. My second oldest brother was always a singer. He was singing in the choir, which we all did at one point. So it was kind of like, hey, you gonna do something in this church, and music was something that we did, and but the great thing about it was, um we were never made to have to do the music. You know what I'm saying? It was just something that just came natural. And yeah, so that we were the band of the church, along with some of our other close friends that we grew up with as well.
Absolutely. So for when I have athletes on here, when I have singers, when I have all these different people on here, the question always come up, whatever lane that you're in, do you feel that that part of you saved your life from the streets?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I would have a lot of friends that would invite me to a bunch of engagements and things or whatever, things that were fun. But we had church Sunday morning. We had church Sunday afternoon. Literally, we would start at 10 o'clock. We would be at church at 8:30 in the morning for Sunday school, And then our service started at 10 a.m. And then we would leave there and we would go to our sister church. And that was at 12 o'clock. So we would leave that service, we would go eat and then come home, take a nap, and we would be back for Sunday night service. So, and then we had Tuesday night and we had Friday night as well as choir rehearsal. So there was, always something to do at the church. So a lot of times, um, a lot of people that I look at now that I grew up with, that grew up in church, but really had the freedom to really do what they wanted to do outside of church. A lot of them are some a little ways off, from the church, and we just pray for them, But I'm glad that um, I was raised in a godly Christian home, to where the things that I would see even from a young age, even till now, it keeps me humble. It keeps me in a place of gratitude, thanking God that I was raised the way that I was.
Okay. So in your intro, it said that you have been with some of the biggest names in gospel in secular. Sometimes, even for me, sometimes I'm conflicted with, am I a gospel artist or am I R&B?
Yeah.
I love them both, um, but I have not stepped out to say, "Hey, I'm an R&B singer," but I sing and I write,
Hmm.
and it's off of experience. And I haven't made that choice, even though I'm singing every Sunday in the church, doing praise and worship and things of that nature. And I have not. Have you ever been in a spot, because you do both, where you have been conflicted in your spirit about doing secular?
Um, yes, there has been some times where certain areas, because there were places um, that I knew I really wasn't supposed to be, but and it's for the simple fact that I felt weird, I felt different, because not only myself but other people around me knew that I stood out. And so, you know, um, I wasn't that person, always engaging and indulging in, the activities of the secular world. I was just, hey, I just always believed that, what I'm saying, I am who I am and I'm gonna be who I am wherever, and, people can either take it or leave it. But um, quite honestly and surprisingly, it is respected. And so, that I would definitely say that in the beginning of stages of it, because I knew that a lot of those people weren't living a consecrated life to please God. They were just kind of like, I go to church, so that's really the thing that matters. What I'm saying, as long as I acknowledge God, um, what I'm saying, I'm cool doing whatever I'm doing. And
Yeah,
that's, hey, and if they do that, that's fine. I never judged anybody for that. I was just around because I supported people who were my friends, and people that respected my gift enough to want to have me a part of their circles in those areas.
absolutely. So, who is someone, whether it's gospel or one from both, that you really, really love working with?
I will say one of the greatest artists. Um, Man, it's a few of them, but two of the, I would say the biggest two were are the Clark sisters. Um, and of course, I include Kiki Sheard in that. That's the whole family. So that's them, and Tim Bowman Jr. Um, the Clark sisters, because that was really my first major engagement on a professional level, being on a major stage, playing for the Clark Sisters. It was a concert that a church in Detroit called Oak Grove AME Church. They put on a concert, and the Clark Sisters were the special guests. And I'll never forget it. It was at the Masonic Temple, and I think I may have been 14 years old. And
Wow.
so literally being in rehearsals with them, being in rehearsals with the band members, what I'm saying, who have been doing this, for even at that time for a long time. I've grew up around these guys and around these people, but the pressure was definitely there because this is my first time, but one thing that I could stand on that really held me together was the fact that they saw something in me and trusted me enough to fulfill that seat. And that right there was a major blessing, and then I'll never forget that. And then of course that went on and on and on over the years. And Tim Bowman Jr. Um, for the simple fact that his father, Tim Bowman Sr., I was playing for their church, and Tim Bowman Sr. was the minister of music. And even in a setting where I was the drummer, um, in that setting, I would implement a lot of the ideas musically for the band. And so, really kind of unofficially, I was at that time a music director, without a title, and really wasn't even, I wasn't looking at it like that way, but I was respected as such. And he would give me free reign, and we would put ideas together. And so from there, um, unbeknownst to me, he had a conversation with his son, Tim Bowman Jr., and he recommended to his son that I should be his music director as a drummer, And so at that time, what I'm saying, I had to really, like buckle down and really understand that, wow, I'm in a place of leadership now. And I was even in a place of leadership then, although I really wasn't officially given a title. So when that happened, um, so many great opportunities came out of that. And I was able to serve with him as his music director for a number of years. And so many great doors open. And even still to this day, I get calls to go out and travel and do engagements with him. And but those are two of the most of the greatest artists I hold dear to my heart that I've been able to work with.
Wow. Like I said, I have not officially. You go along with most of my guests that have been on this platform. I want to say 85% of my guests over going on 4 years now, I've never met in person.
Wow.
Uh, they are either recommended to me or um, I've seen them on social media and reached out to them. I was going over some of the old clips, and Latisse Crawford, I reposted
Yeah.
our conversation with her, and I'm like, do you realize, like, you really anointed to do this?
Wow.
The humbleness and to find out her story. Um, it was amazing to be able to talk to someone like that. And then that's the point of where I understood why God created me. There's a place of He gave me a gift to make people comfortable to talk. Because
Yes.
we find out that we're more alike than we are different.
Yeah.
And there's the mantra that I have. We are 6 degrees of separation. We're literally one person away, one advice away, and one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. Proven over and over again since I started this show.
Yeah.
Tonight, I wanted to explain to people, starting off the beginning of the year with powerhouses.
Wow.
January and February, is straight up powerhouses that dominate in their own lanes, that we didn't say, hey, industry, come to me.
Yeah.
The industry came to us. Or they created their own lane and they're mastering their own lane. When
Yeah.
I saw your face, I said, hey, this is the opportunity to reach out to the Kris Brooks.
I'm honored. I'm humble. I have to say, this is a blessing, and in so many more ways than one. Because one, um, you never know who's watching you, and
Absolutely.
I'm humble enough to say that, hey, I've made mistakes. I got flaws just like anybody else. I've made a lot of mistakes in my day, and even to this day. But I'm glad that God has not allowed the mistakes that I've made to blur the lines of who I really am and who He's created me to be, so that when people see me, they don't, they're not worried about the flaws that I have. They know the real me, and they know Kris Brooks is a genuine guy. They can tell that I really love God, that I have a real relationship with Him, and and I appreciate even being on this show, just listening to you, when you were saying earlier about being in the place of being in between, because what I'm saying, of secular and gospel. But I don't think you really understand how much of a light and salt you are to people that will see this show, because you're so transparent, and you're in a place where you really just have a desire, to live for God. But a lot of people, the biggest misconception is that I can't live for God and be in the areas that I'm in, because everybody feels like, oh, we're all called to the church. You know what I'm saying? When we are the church, but God dwelling in us and living in us, we're supposed to go out, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and get those people, I'm
Yeah.
saying, those people who really don't have an understanding of church, what I'm saying, the people who don't have a desire to walk inside a brick and mortar building, what I'm saying. So this really is, given an opportunity, and it's going to bless so many people, what I'm saying, who actually really don't even realize that this is what they need.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's I unfortunately we all have a story to tell.
Yeah.
And it's not always pretty. It's not always a good one. And through trial and error, through experiences through life, is where you see sunshine. It
Yeah.
wasn't always like this. It wasn't always smiles and giggles and I was depressed. It was all types of things, suicidal,
Wow.
all of that. But then I came to self and
Yeah.
said, you're here for a reason. What is the reason?
Absolutely.
And in 2020, it became very important for me, for life, basically, to do what I'm called to do.
Yeah.
And it's to give people that hope, that faith through the gifts that He has given me, to be able to let you know, if I can make it out, so can you.
Absolutely.
All we have to do is talk.
Yeah.
I don't know your story, but until I sit down with a Kris Brooks and I understand that, yes, he has made mistakes. Yes, he was born to do what he's doing. Yes, this is part of ministry. I was drawn to him because of his music,
Wow.
right? I knew who you were. You didn't know who I was, but you gonna learn today.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
was drawn years ago to your ministry. I knew who you were.
Wow.
When you're in this circle of, you love music, you love choir music, you're around the best. Um, and you see the concerts, you see all of these musicals and things of that nature. So you keep seeing the same people over and over again. Who is that? He has a unique sound.
Wow.
Who is he? Oh, that's just, oh, that's just. No, it's not just. He's more than that. And over time, we find
Wow.
out who we really are. We're still in a place of where God still is teaching us more gifts that was already in us.
Yeah.
You said yourself that, yeah, I was a drummer. And then eventually, over time, I stepped into. And you're still stepping, sir. It's
Wow.
not over. And you still go minister outside of music. Yeah, I said it. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Man.
There's a mantle. We only saw bits and pieces of it because of the music, but it's really ministry inside of you. That's why they called you. They didn't know that's what they was calling you for, but it's the
Wow.
ministry gift. It's the minstrel. Yeah, as prophets, as ministers, as whatever title you want to call it. Yeah, we get jacked up because we be in our own feelings in our own way. Yeah, but then God has what? Grace to bring us back to where
Yeah.
it all began. Was the love of God that some of us would never, some people would never step foot in the church, but I am the church.
Yeah.
Some people would never accept something from somebody else. I get it all the time. Oh, you got tattoos. Ain't that against? But now we can have a conversation because you're looking at my tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He uses the foolish things to
absolutely.
confound the wise.
Why you always changing your hair color? Hey, today this is what I feel like.
Exactly.
Now we're going to have a conversation.
Yeah.
However way he got to use to bring other people in. There was a message not too long ago. I got other flock outside of here that I have to go get to. You're not the only one. How do we get them? Well, he gifted us. Draw them in by the gifts. It's not a gimmick. You have a unique, I promise you, unique sound. If I put you against other drummers, I can pick you out.
Wow.
Absolutely. So again, being in this city, this rich city of Detroit, some of the baddest singers, some of the baddest writers, producers, creative minds in this city of Detroit. You can't hide, Kris. If I can pinpoint you at the Fox, where was it at the Fox? Yes, it was at the Fox.
We were.
I'm handing out flyers.
Yes. I remember now.
I spotted you. You can't hide, Kris.
Wow.
You'll catch that later. But however,
you have messed me up tonight. Oh man.
See, the good thing is I never heard anything bad about you. So even in our mess up, God's still covering you.
Wow.
Don't get me started. I never heard nothing bad about you. And even if I did, I'm not in a judgmental spot to do any of that. All I know is I saw your face light up. It's time. Reach out to Kris and see what he say. Sure, let's do it. Huh? Is that easy? Yep. And you're the first. You started my year.
Wow.
You started my year.
Wow. Thank you, Lord. Man.
A legend in its own right among some of the greats. Some of the greats. You're called because you're respected. You're called because you're anointed. You're called because you are a minister. Yes, you are. And even in the moments when we alone by ourselves and we like, do anybody even care? I hear you. Yes, we do. When is it my turn? I hear you.
Wow.
Why me, God? Because you can handle it, Kris. Oh, you didn't know what you was getting yourself into, did you?
Whew.
I told you was going to find out tonight.
Man, God is so real. God is so real. Man, it's God always has a way of reminding us and showing us ourselves through people, um, who we are and what it is that we're supposed to be doing. And in those moments that we sit and we wonder and we ponder, well, when and why and how and who and where and what, you know, all of that time, God sets us up for moments like this to be in the company and in the presence of people, you know what I'm saying, who you've never had a conversation with, you know what I'm saying, who you've never met. And then, not even realizing, because I'm going to tell you the real truth, I was just honored, you know what I'm saying, that you asked me to be on here when you sent me the inbox. And I was like, hey, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I'm always humbled and honored to share my gift and what God has placed inside of me, because it's my gift is too big for my own.
Absolutely.
And and
You
so
teaching yet?
I'm in the process of setting that up now. I actually have a flyer that I'm getting ready to.
Okay.
I'm reconstructing some things, and seeking God, um, in the way that I'm supposed to go about it. And yeah, I'm I'm in a transitional period with that right now, but that is definitely.
So I'm a drop a gem on you. Just in the moments when we think we don't matter, or it's just this, I'm in this little box. Gotta break you out and say, no, you have way bigger. My plans for you is way bigger than you could
Yeah.
ever imagine. I chose you. It could have been somebody else, but he chose you to grab
Wow.
the mantle. Your school, you're going to have so many people who want to support you just because it's you. They trust you. I don't know what happened, and I don't care. I thought it was going to be something else, but God wants to minister to you in your broken place. Places that you have not said to anyone because you private like that. But remember, he knows you. And I keep hearing this, and I'm supposed to sing this like at the end of the month, but what is it? I am not forgotten. I am not forgotten. I am not
I'm not
forgotten.
forgotten.
God who knows
God
my
knows my
name.
name.
I am
I
not
am not forgotten.
forgotten.
Yes.
I am not forgotten. I am
I
not
am not forgotten.
forgotten. God who
God
knows my
knows my
name.
name.
He
He
knows
knows
my
my
name.
name.
He knows your name, Kris. Did you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Oh, I just love when God just comes in and do what he wants to do.
Yes, God. Yes, yes. Wow. God is so amazing.
It's been some like personal trials, and I'm not gonna put your business out there because he's revealing it to me, but that ain't people business. But just know he gonna fix it.
Amen.
It's gonna be like as if it never happened.
Yeah.
This is your season for him to remind you, I am not forgotten. I am not forgotten. I am not forgotten. God who knows my name. I am not forgotten. I am not forgotten. I am not forgotten. The God who knows my name. He knows your name. Yes,
Yeah. I believe it and I receive that.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So I had some other stuff up here. So we know that you're anointed to play drums, but you're anointed to do much more than just drums. That's the initial, but there's so much more to you, whether it's ministry, whether it's the sound that you hear. He's definitely anointed you to hear sounds that most people just regularly don't hear. Um, it's like the drums speak to you, not just you hitting them. It's like, no, I'm speaking to you. And
Yes.
even in moments of your dreams, you hear music. And it's like, where did that come from? Is that I see you searching, like, is this a new sound or did I hear something from somebody else? Mm-mm. Get ready to start recording again, too. Your own.
Okay.
Your
Yeah.
own.
You in the house tonight.
Your own. And you have been with the best. You can actually handpick who you want to. Now, if you want some background singers, let me know.
Listen, listen. We going all the way. We going all the way. If we
um,
gonna do it, we gonna do it.
Absolutely. I mean, I could lead too, but however the Lord speaks.
Absolutely.
Um, the industry itself, to be able to teach, and I see you on panels actually, to be able to teach those about the industry. There are people who are afraid of the industry because of what they see or what they heard, but you have been in both where you know the ins and outs. There are people who have to be the trailblazers, who have to stand up for righteousness in these places, and you have been chosen. Um, for Kris Brooks, what does a balanced life look like for you?
A balanced life is man, I'm actually just really over the past year or so, really getting actually well, yeah, I would say over the past year or so, getting into a balanced life because growing up in church, that was all I did. You know, that
Mm-hmm.
was all I knew. So, you know, it wasn't that I couldn't do anything else. But I just, you know what I'm saying, because that's what I grew up in, that's what I knew. That's all I wanted to do was church, church, church. So like I would miss, you know, times of family vacations because I was playing at somebody's conference or playing at somebody's revival or whatever. Um, you know, and but now at this point, over the past year or so, balance for me is doing what was necessary to get my temple in order, um, away from church. while still doing church, and being in ministry, but really taking time for myself, as an individual, as a man of God, understanding that, um, if I'm so heavily involved in ministry that I don't really have enough in me to really adapt to the natural side of life, then I'm no good, you know, to so many things and so many people, including myself, starting with myself. So I've really taken time to do other things outside of church, uh, to take time for me, which is how I've been able to lose up to 100 pounds. Really, investing in my health. And when I say I over time have begun to feel so much better about myself, about uh, things that I do, having a greater level of confidence for what God has called me to, not having to worry that there's a oversaturation of things, I'm saying, of people that are doing the same thing. But I've been in a place of really being able to find myself and spending time with God to understand that I'm not doing what nobody else is doing. What He's called me to do is different from the rest, and that my ministry and even my way of life is so much more unique than the average person. And so I like to go out and hang. Um, I like to go sit at Starbucks and people watch. You know what I'm saying? And I even sit there, and sometimes I'll have my computer with me. Sometimes I won't. But while I'm just watching people go in and out and buy coffee and things of that nature, God gives me a download of so much. And like you said, a lot of different music comes to play in my mind, and so many other ideas of things come to my mind that have absolutely nothing to do with church, but yet altogether it still circles back around to ministry, because that's just how God is. So I like to do. There's so much more even this year that I'm going to do, that does not involve me being in the four walls
So
of the church.
just, maybe once or twice a year, you go on a trip like a cruise or I don't know, Vegas or something. I don't know. Just to let your hair down.
Yeah,
Go somewhere different that I don't know. Like I want to go to, well, definitely I want to go to Italy, but
yeah,
somewhere like Wyoming or something. Like I don't know, somewhere different.
yeah,
Um, it's time. Even though
absolutely.
you have given, it's time for it being to be poured back into you. Don't be surprised when people just call you like, "What you up to?" "Oh, let's go get." "Oh, let's go do." Or "What's your cash app?" Don't be surprised.
Wow.
Don't be surprised. When even all in this, just stay focused. You're in good hands, and all is well.
All is still well and in divine order.
All is well. Um, this has been a great conversation. One thing people don't realize, I'm on a couch, God begins to speak, and we having a counseling session, even though it doesn't look that way.
Yeah,
The good thing about that is it's not me, it's Him.
yeah,
He knew what you needed. I didn't know. That's why I don't write out questions. I let Him have free reign on what He's going to do. I don't know what we're going to talk about, and it just happens.
absolutely.
Again, I'm glad that you said yes to the invitation. Um, and for people to understand who you are
Yeah.
outside of music. Um, Sometimes our experience with people draws us back, and there's no time for us to be in a cage. There's no time to be in a cave.
Yeah.
Now is the time to go forth like he needs you to. Um, People like me are waiting on your music.
Wow.
People like me is ready to jump in and aid you in whatever you need me to do. Um, so yeah, let's get it.
Let's get it. We're definitely gonna talk offline. Yeah, because yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is definitely yeah. Wow. I'm just amazed, and I'm encouraged more than anything. I'm encouraged over and beyond because I know that I'm in the right place.
Hold on. Did you tear up? Was you crying? I think you was crying.
You you look you don't know like you really blessed me tonight.
I think I
You
saw you tear up a little bit.
you really blessed me tonight. I'm not even gonna lie. And honestly, and when most people ask me to, what I'm saying, do stuff, when I've done stuff like this in the past, it's always been just for them to, promote who I am as a drummer and, what I'm saying, and say how much, what I'm saying, they love what I do and things of that nature. But it's like tonight was something different. And God knew. He definitely knew. Um, yeah. I'm just I'm excited. I'm glad that I said yes. I'm glad that I wasn't leery, what I'm saying, of who you were. What I'm saying, I'm glad I didn't, like I didn't have the urge to go look at who we're mutual friends with and ask questions and things. I'm just like, well, I can't do that now because I already said yeah, what I'm saying. But I'm just like, God knew. And I just, like this year is the year for me to do everything that God purposed for me to do. You know what I'm saying? In the most unorthodox ways.
Absolutely.
And for him to pour into me what it is that I need while in the process. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. Oh, it's gonna be, what is it? In Amos, where it's talking about
I just
it's
saw
gonna,
that today.
it's
Somebody
gonna
posted today.
overtake us. It's
It's gonna
gonna
happen so fast.
so fast. It's gonna make your head swim.
Yes.
One blessing after another.
Running off the hills, man.
Listen here, how I supposed to know you did that? But all I know, I heard it.
Wow.
You better get
Wow.
ready, sir. That's all I'm telling you.
Listen.
Get.
Yes, Lord.
So all I need you to do, sir, is tell everybody about Sunshine. Tell everybody about keeping it real conversations with Sunshine. We need our numbers to go up. We need people
Absolutely.
to come through in this industry, whether I don't care if it's the person next door, if they got a survival story, if they got ways to help people, if they got a organization that need help or whatever, this is the platform for it. I don't charge people to tell their story. I
Yeah.
don't. I'm not Wendy Williams. I'm not in here to pry about your business,
Wow.
right? It is a safe place to talk,
Absolutely.
to have ministry from the heart to the heart.
Yeah.
I don't have time to play games. I don't. It's about love. It's about helping one another. When I started this, God told me I was going to become the help that I once needed for myself.
Yeah.
I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't know which way to go or who to talk to. None of that. But
Wow.
I've been through it all. I'm a survivor. Now I can tell you, I can point you to somebody else I know who've been through that, done that, and now they're successful in running.
Absolutely.
So we're going to run with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to run with it.
It's some, listen,
we're going to make Kris Brooks' name big in the gospel world as well as the secular world. That I could be in both and still serve God. Somebody got to be the light.
It's Matthew 5:16. And I learned this when I was just a little child in what we call Sunshine Band in Church of God in Christ, which is the kids' classes. Let your light so shine before men. And we have the understanding that men, when it says men in the Bible, is not bound to a certain gender.
Right.
Let your light so shine before men, before everybody, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. And I believe that we're in that place in this year for Matthew 5:16 to stand out bigger than ever before.
Absolutely. So I got some church announcements to make in the church, everybody. And then we gonna have last words for Kris, and then we gonna get out of here. What y'all think about that? Good. I'm glad you said so. So this is the book, my first one that I written by myself. The Blueprint of God's Design is on Amazon right now. So go support the book. You can put my name in, or you could put the title. Those letters at the back of it is actually the link to it. God had to sit me down and told me to start over. And I only could do that by the blueprint, as we say, the Bible. And it's been awesome. How you doing? It's been an awesome journey to let God take over. I don't have to drive no more. I can be cool in the passenger side. If you want to continue to see this platform go to the next level, you can donate at my Cash App at Sunshine Kamilah, Kamilah. That is how you spell my real name. I appreciate it and I thank you in advance. Of course, my whole biggest thing is to be the next Ellen DeGeneres, to have my own TV show, and to be able to help people all day long. That's my desire, to help people every day. This conversation has been sponsored by Blacktop Streetball Association. Go to their website, btsba.com. If you remember if you remember Main Event, that's my big brother. He has been supporting me. All of them have been supporting me. They'll be coming out soon under their own thing and as owners this time. Again, Blacktop Streetball Association will be coming to a city near you. Again, if you want to get in touch with me, you can always go to my my Facebook page at Sunshine Kamilah. You can friend me, you can inbox me, whatever. If you don't have Facebook, you can IG me at Sunshine Kamilah or Keeping It Real Conversations. I will definitely get back in touch with you. Also, if you can email me at CamilahFoster51@gmail.com if you want to come on my show. If you have some people that you want to recommend to the show, you can do all those ways to get in touch with me, and I will definitely get back in touch with you. So, Mr. Kris Brooks, I said all that to say, let's get it.
Let's get it.
Going hard.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see what is going to come out of you.
Absolutely. I feel the same. My sentiments exactly for you as well.
So you have the last words for tonight, and then we're gonna get out of here.
once again, I just want to thank you again for this space and opportunity and time. It's absolutely been amazing, and I'm grateful for any and every opportunity to share my light and my gift with any and everybody who's willing to receive. And I'm excited about what God is getting ready to allow us to do. This is definitely a divine connection, and we getting ready to go to the top.
Amen. My brother Ryan Rutley is in the building.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yes. I connected with Ryan last year during Perilous Times. I came to his movie premiere. We have done some things. It's about time for us to reconnect. We just talked about this the other day. So to have Ryan and everyone that came through tonight, I appreciate you. I appreciate your support. It doesn't go unnoticed. Trust me. I love y'all.
Do Perilous Times play.
Huh?
I used to do Perilous Times play. I was the drummer for Perilous Times for at least 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did 23 in April.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, it's small world. There's so many people that we're probably connected to. Again, I can't wait to actually meet you for real in person instead of a pass by. Yes. So again, thank you for saying yes. Again,
Absolutely.
Everyone, please share the live. Please go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Let people know that we are here. Again, I got so much stuff on the table, but again, I make it look easy. Again, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're literally one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny, proven over and over again since I started this show. Kris, as soon as we get done, I will send to you the link for tonight. Do what you will with it. It's yours. Again, thank you all for stopping by. I will see you on Tuesday with the Benjamins, Christina and Courtney Benjamin, who are doing it good in their own lanes. So again, stay tuned. I'll see you back on Tuesday at 7 p.m. You guys, love you. Peace.
Love you. Peace.